Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you my morning skincare routine as I apply it. So if you've got older skin, 50 plus, wrinkled, saggy and aging, and that sounds like your kind of thing, then please keep watching. So I've cleansed my skin with my CeraVe hydrating cleanser, which I really like. It's very nice and light, and I've used this very brightly coloured microfiber cloth to clean it off. So the next thing I do, and actually my routine has changed a little bit in terms of the order I put products on. I'm only going to be using 3 products today. Now, until last week actually, I was using the Hyaluronic Acid from Amazon. I think you can get it in Superdrug now. It's a drugstore product. It's very reasonably priced. I mean, I've only used about half of it and I must have had it for a year or more. And it's very watery. So I was putting that on first, followed by my vitamin C, followed by my SPF or moisturiser with SPF in it. Now, just the other day, I was watching a Dr. Sam Bunting video, and she actually puts her vitamin C on first before any hyaluronic acid. And now that I'm actually using another hyaluronic acid as well, well, not as well, but instead of the Hada Labo, sometimes this one. Now this one is actually thicker, very thick compared to the Hada Labo, which is just very watery really. As you can see, that is that's a bit like a moisturiser. I've actually started putting it on after the vitamin C. So, because the theory is that you're supposed to put on the, oh excuse me, cars are going by and it's a very hot morning. I've got the windows open. You're supposed to put the products on starting with the most watery and then going to the thickest. In fact, I'm thinking about it. I'm not quite sure I'm going to be doing that completely this morning. But anyway, the point is what you want the products to do is to get into your skin. And I suppose Dr. Sam's thinking is that you don't want to put any barrier to an active ingredient doing its thing, as it were. So if you perhaps put a hyaluronic acid before you put your vitamin C on, it might stop it penetrating as best it can. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I start with the vitamin C. Now, this is a very expensive product, by the way, and I'm sure you've come across this in other videos. It's the CE Ferulic by SkinCeuticals, and it costs, and in fact I will tell you because I've written it down, I actually paid £110 for it the last time I bought it, but it is usually retails for £145. I think there was a special offer or discount or something, which works out at, I had to get my calculator out, £13.75 per month, which is quite a lot of money. Well, it's a hell of a lot of money actually. However, I have actually found something, and I haven't bought it yet, but I am going to buy it, and it's called, hang on a minute, I'm going to tell you exactly what it's called. And it's called, it's by the New company, spelt N-U-E, and it's a topical C, it's called, and it's a powdered vitamin C supplement. Now, what's interesting about this new company product is that it's also got vitamin E in it. I think I'm right in saying, let me just double check the ingredients. Well, no, I see what it's got. Yeah, so what it's got that's similar to the SkinCeuticals is it's got ferulic acid in it as well, which obviously this has. This has E ferulic, so the E I assume is for is vitamin E, although it doesn't actually say that on the front. Maybe it's a don't know. Anyway, I am going to get, when I finish this extremely expensive bottle of SkinCeuticals, I'm going to try this new, I keep forgetting the name of it, the New company Topical C, it's called. I'll put all the details down below for all of these. Oops, sorry, my towel's falling off. Just washed my hair. In fact, just a side note, in case I sneeze, I obviously try not to. I have the most horrendous hay fever at the moment, and it's just suddenly whoosh, it's come. I mean, I've had hay fever for years, but I don't usually get it that badly, and we've been away by the sea, so you would have thought actually it should be fine, but suddenly on Friday, it's now Sunday, oh my lord, I got this horrendous sort of sneezing and red eyes and all, you know, ghastliness. Anyway, why did I mention that? I can't remember exactly. Anyway, Yeah, so let's hope I don't sneeze. So yes, the CE ferulic. So what vitamin C does, and I think it's just useful to remind ourselves, and again, Dr. Sam Bunting, whose links I will put down below, she's got a very useful YouTube video on vitamin C and why it's so good for you. But what she basically says is it does a lot of things. It's an antioxidant. It protects you from pollution. It actually produces collagen, which was a new one on me. So obviously very good for anti-aging. I mean, I think her shtick, as it were, is she tends to look after patients who have really blemished skin, so younger skin. Although, of course, older skin can have blemishes too, but she tends to focus on them. And but she does say that vitamin C is good for everybody, and she said it's particularly good for urban dwellers, people who are outside a lot, people who exercise. And the other really interesting thing she said was put it on your neck, because she talked about retinol being or difficult for people with sensitive skin to put on their necks, and she talks about the skin being very similar on your neck as around your eyes, but she did say put it on your neck. Now she actually put 7 drops of this CE ferulic on her skin, which, you know, when you've worked out how much a drop is, which I haven't done, that is quite a lot. You'd use it up pretty quickly. And actually that's the other thing to be aware of, is it can go off really quickly if you don't keep the top on really tight and you store it somewhere where it can't get any light on it, because then it will perish or it will go brown. I mean, mine seems to be okay. I am pretty careful about where I put it. Unfortunately, my bathroom, or my tiny shower room, has a lot of sun coming in the morning particularly, so I have to try and find somewhere special to put it anyway. So that's the vitamin C. So I'm going to apply that first. I mean, I suppose I could try 7 drops. I don't know. Anyway, this is what it looks like. Oh, wait a minute, you can see it's quite orangey, which is good. So let's do 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Okay, interestingly, that was only 3. Right, let's put a little bit more. Oh, it's not coming out, it's gone bubbly. Wait a minute, let's get, oh. Right, carefully, 1 more. The good thing about this dropper is it doesn't let out anything else. It's pretty rigorous. You know, you've got to squeeze the top. You can see there, I don't know if you can see that. Right, so she does a 13 dot technique, but maybe I'll just dot it. I'm definitely going to put it on my neck, because my neck is quite sensitive. And then, I mean, she pats it in. Maybe I should pat it in. I'm just going to tell you about my skin. There's been a lot, and Nadine Baggett, who I absolutely love, and again, you probably know her anyway, but I'll link her details down below. She did a really good, I think it was on Facebook actually, rather than on YouTube, about what is sensitive skin or sensitized skin. Now, my skin isn't sensitive actually, it's quite tough, but what it is, or what I have, is an allergy to any, well, not any perfume or any parfum, as they call it on the ingredients list. I'm allergic to particular types of ingredients found in perfume. So I know I have to look for them and their derivatives, actually. I mean, you can go down an absolute rabbit hole, I can tell you, when you discover this thing. But anyway, so I'm allergic to particular types of ingredients. I'll put them down below. But the problem with that is, because they're found in perfume and in ingredients lists, you often find parfum as a generic term. I don't know whether the particular thing that I'm allergic to that's found in perfume is in that particular product. That is my problem. So that means I have to avoid all products that have parfum in them, particularly if they're going to stay on my skin. And, you know, I do get quite irritated when... pardon the pun. I do get quite irritated when I see skincare with parfum as an ingredient. I mean, why do they put them in the products? It just seems so crazy. Anyway, I'm going slightly off topic here, but otherwise my skin's pretty tough. And actually I started using a retinol, well, a very, very mild one from Medicate, and I'll do a video on that in a few weeks when I've kind of got into a sort of routine with it, because I only started using it for about 3 or 4 weeks. Anyway, so far so good, because I was told I might be allergic to that, and I've had problems with other retinols in the past. I'm quite excited about that. So the next thing I do is I use my CeraVe Hyaluronic Acid. And why do we use hyaluronic acid? Well, it helps to keep moisture into our skin. So I think, as I understand it anyway, you've got creams and emollients that keep the dryness at bay, but this keeps the dehydration at bay. And of course, we're all told we must drink a lot of water. So this is just a way of putting water back into our skin. So I'm going to put a couple of pumps of this on, and I really do like it because it's very creamy. It feels very comfortable on the skin. I mean, it is a relatively new product for me, and I did wonder whether putting a cream on my skin in the form of a hyaluronic acid in the form of a cream on my skin, followed by another cream, which is going to be my SPF or moisturiser, whether that was a good idea. But it does sink into the skin, and it feels very comfortable. It doesn't feel too heavy, slightly tacky, but that's all fine. And it's very reasonably priced, and I love CeraVe products. I know some people don't get on with them, but I must say they have been really, really good and incredibly reasonably priced. Now, the reason I'm quite careful about putting creams on my skin, particularly what might feel like a heavy cream, although I don't think this is a heavy cream, but it's a cream nevertheless, is because I found I was getting milia a few years ago when I thought mistakenly that I had dry skin, but it turned out that the dryness was actually a manifestation of the allergy that I had. I stopped using I stopped using cream for dry skin. So I'm always watchful now about the consistency of the cream that I'm putting on my skin. But anyway, so far so good with the CeraVe. Now my final product today is going to be this SPF 50, and this is a new one for me, which again Nadine had recommended. And actually it's just a bit like putting on ye old-fashioned sun cream that we would do on the beach. But it is 50, which is good, super U, anti-dark spots. I don't have dark spots. I'm really lucky I don't have age spots. I mean, I've got lots of moles and all sorts of stuff, but no age spots at the moment. Anyway, this I think will be really good today. It is incredibly hot already. What time is it? It's just gone 7:30. Well, I'll tell you what the temperature is. Actually, I just looked at the temperature and it's only 17, but it feels like it's boiling. It will be later. Anyway, so as it's going to be warm, I'm going to put this on because I'll probably be in the garden. And you have to shake it up. It's very liquidy, milky, which actually in a way is probably a good thing. I mean, actually, law of, milky / watery products. I probably should have put this on after this, but, we're not going to stick. Now, I can't really show you, well, I can try and show you how milky it is. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, I've tried to put it, oh, there you go. And actually, this, I mean, it hasn't got perfume in it. I haven't got scent in it, which is good. It is a bit sticky and a bit white, but to be honest, it settles into the skin, which you will see in a minute. And it is just like putting, and you have to put it down here really, don't you? In fact, I think I got a bit of the sun while I was away down there. You have to rub it in or, smooth it in, because otherwise it will be a bit sticky. I mean, it feels a little bit sticky at the moment, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine, and it's good to put it on your hands. And that is basically my skincare for the morning. And obviously after this, I'm going to put on a foundation and all of that. But that does me very well at the moment. That's my routine. And I think at the moment, because it's sunny and it's the summer, I think an SPF 50, although to be honest, I do use an SPF 30 sometimes. I mean, when I said earlier that my skin is quite tough, I think I'm going by my family. So my granny and my mum had pretty tough skin that didn't age. Well, it aged well, actually. It aged pretty well, particularly my granny, who had really quite dark skin. We were all moly. I'm a bit less moly than they were. My granny had quite different hair to me though, but her skin looked good and it didn't look old for her age. I mean, yeah, she died in her 90s and, she was still looking pretty good. Obviously everything droops, but I mean, you can't stop that happening, can you? That's just gravity. Anyway, so I I maybe have been a little bit slapdash about SPFs in the past. Well, I know I have really. It's only in the last few years when I've really started to take an interest in skincare. And the other thing is that my mantra is I'm trying to keep things at bay. I don't expect to see any improvements, any radical improvements in my skin. I mean, obviously I've got all these lines. I'm not going to call them what beauticians call them because I hate that, but I've got lines here, I've got puckering, I've got pores. But I'll tell you what, one of the advantages of getting older is unless you put your reading glasses on, you can't see a lot of this stuff, so it's actually fine. But I want to look after my skin. I want to preserve it where it is. I think that's the key thing. I want to make sure that I look after it and keep it as younger looking as I can for as long as I can. So I hope this video has been helpful. Everything that I've used I will list and link below. And if you've enjoyed this video, I would be so delighted if you would give it a thumbs up even, and please consider subscribing. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.